Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into Hollowed on Roblox and breaking down one of the most game-defining choices you'll make: your race. Yeah, you heard me right. Your race in this game isn't just for looks, it's the backbone of your build. Each one comes with its own set of juicy active and passive abilities that can completely change how you play. Whether you're looking to dominate in PvP, crush bosses, or just survive those chaotic dungeons, your race is the key to standing out, or blending in if you're going for stealth, of course. Now, not all races are created equal, right? Some are ridiculously OP in almost every scenario, while others, well, let's just say they've got their moments if the stars align. In today's video, we're ranking all the races from best to worst and giving you the ultimate tier list for your next run. So, grab your snacks, hit that like button, and let's get into which races will carry you to glory and which ones might just carry you straight to the respawn screen. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking races in Hollowed. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Onija and Reefer. Alright, let's talk about some middle tier contenders in Hollowed, the B tier races. Now, don't let the B fool you. These aren't bad by any means. In fact, they're solid choices if you know how to work with their quirks. But let's be real, when you're stacking them up against A or S tier heavyweights, they fall just a little short. Let's dive in. First up, we've got Onia, sitting at a respectable 12% roll rate. This race comes with a unique push attack and a stat-boosting rage ability, which sounds awesome on paper. But here's the kicker. Even when you unlock these perks, they feel underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, if you're all about brawling and want to focus on fists, Onija's True Fighter damage boost is incredible. However, once you start venturing into builds like Bolt or Skywalker, this race suddenly levels up into God tier territory. Seriously, Onea becomes a sleeper S tier race when paired with the right skills. It's like they've been holding back their true potential. Now, let's talk about the one and only Reefer, rocking a 16% roll rate. Reefer has always been a fan favorite, especially for their Hunter Instinct ability that lets you see through walls. Yes, you heard that right, through walls. It's like having wall hacks in your DNA. And if that wasn't enough, they also get a semi-revive ability, meaning death doesn't hit quite as hard. But here's the tea. Hunter Instinct got nerfed hard. It's not the powerhouse it used to be, and because of that, Reefer just doesn't hit as high as it once did. Still, it's one of the most versatile races for any build, and that revive? Oh, it comes in clutch more often than you'd think. The thing about both of these races is that they're great in specific scenarios, but they lack that all-encompassing wow factor. Onija struggles a bit unless you lean into their strengths with fists or specific builds, while Reefer's nerfed abilities make them less jaw-dropping than they used to be. However, they both have their moments to shine, and for certain playstyles, they might just be your perfect match. So, what does this mean for you? If you're a player who loves to experiment and adapt, B-tier races are your playground. Onija is perfect for those who want to dip into unexpected synergies, and Reefer's semi-revive makes it great for risky strategies. They're not the flashiest picks, but sometimes the middle ground offers the most unique gameplay opportunities. At the end of the day, there's no such thing as a bad race in Hollowed. The beauty of this game is how much flexibility it gives you. Whether you're pushing enemies off cliffs as an Onija or seeing through walls like a Reefer Ghost, these races still pack a punch if you know how to use them. Sure, they've got their flaws, but who doesn't love a good underdog story? The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Shale, Hydra, Eclipse, and Akula. Alright, let's talk about the real MVPs of Hollowed, the A tier races. Not quite S tier, but still absolutely wrecking everyone's expectations. If you're lucky enough to roll one of these, congratulations, you've officially entered the Don't Mess With Me zone. Let's kick things off with Shale. Look, I know what you're thinking. Shale, aren't they super basic? Oh no, Shale is that one race everyone underestimates until they get absolutely destroyed. Their universal weapon damage buff isn't just good, it's game-changing. And let me tell you about Adrenaline. This ability is pure chaos in a bottle. It slows your opponent, buffs you, speeds you up, and here's the kicker. You can spam it. Spam it. No cooldown drama, no penalties. Just pure, unfiltered destruction. Honestly, if Shale had just a bit more uniqueness, they'd be sitting comfortably in S tier. But hey, we'll settle for brutal domination. Now Hydra? Oh man, I love Hydra. They're the closest you'll ever get to becoming a mythical creature of pure devastation. Their fire-breathing ability, it's not just a gimmick. It's been melting players since day zero, and it's still just as terrifying. But wait, there's more. Hydras can unlock extra defensive perks that make them tanky and deadly. It's like playing a dragon in a fantasy game, but with more edge. Seriously, if you're lucky enough to roll Hydra, you're signing up for one of the most badass experiences in Hollowed. But if we're talking about unique and exclusive, we've got to mention Eclipse. This race isn't just rare, it's a challenge to unlock. First, you need to find the elusive Moon Crown, and then you've got to grind hard. Deal 300k damage to unlock Lunar Ghost and grip 300 players to get Sacrifice. Sounds like a lot, right? It is, but it's so worth it. Once you unlock those abilities, you'll hit like a truck, probably the hardest in the game. The catch? Every time you use Eclipse, it costs you a life, and when you're out of lives, that's it. No second chances, no extra lives if you're above C1. It's high risk, high reward, and honestly, it's a wild ride. Alright, let's dive into the waters of Akula. Literally. These guys thrive in aquatic combat. Their abilities, Bite and Bloodlust, are a match made in heaven for slashing weapon users. Bloodlust takes time to build, but once you've stacked it up, oh boy, the sustained DPS is chef's kiss. And Bite, it's not just a nibble. It's a full-on health-stealing chomp that grows stronger the more you use it. Akula players are basically the ultimate predators when they're near water, and if you know how to use them, you'll be feasting on the competition. So there you have it, the A-tier squad in all its glory. Each one brings something completely different to the table, and while they might not have the sheer dominance of the S-tier races, they're nothing to scoff at. In fact, some might argue that these are the real underdog heroes of Hollowed. Shale proves that being underestimated can be your greatest weapon. Hydra lets you live out your dragon-slaying dreams while being the dragon. Eclipse takes you on a roller coaster of power and risk. And Akula? Well, they remind everyone why it's dangerous to go near the water. If you're playing with one of these races, consider yourself lucky, and your opponents doomed. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Zari and Rias. Alright, let's dive into the cream of the crop. The S-tier races in Hollowed. You know, the kind of races that make you go, wait, am I overpowered or are they just bad? Spoiler alert, it's probably both. These are the ones you pick if you want to dominate both PvP and PvE like an absolute legend. But hey, there's a catch. Power like this doesn't come for free. Let's talk Zari and Rias. Buckle up, we're about to get mystical and a little demonic. First up, Zari. These spellcasting prodigies have one simple motto. Why charge mana when you can just not? Their bread and butter is an ability called Myth of Magic, and it's a game changer. Imagine this. You're out there spamming spells like there's no tomorrow, and boom! No waiting around for your mana to hit 50% or whatever arbitrary percentage other mages have to deal with. With this ability, you're firing off spells as fast as you can think them up. It's perfect for PvP because your enemies barely get to blink before they're turned into magical dust. PvE? Same deal. Bosses just melt under your quick casting assault. But, and here's the kicker, you'll need to cast 1,500 spells to unlock it. Yeah, it's a grind, but trust me, once you hit that milestone, it's like stepping into God mode. Now let's talk about Rias, the dark side's favorite overachievers. These guys are a bit trickier to master, but oh boy are they worth it. At first glance you might think, hey, they're just edgy Shaley knockoffs. But hold on, because Demon's Wish turns the tables. Unlocking it requires racking up 100 Dark Blood points, which, let's be honest, feels like some ancient ritual, but it's so worth it. This ability boosts your damage and attack speed by a ridiculous amount. And the cherry on top, you can keep the buff going indefinitely as long as you keep hitting your opponent. Imagine that, an endless flurry of attacks while your enemies desperately try to catch their breath. It's brutal, it's beautiful, it's Rias. Now, here's the thing, both of these races are amazing, but they're also situational. Zari shines brightest if you're committed to spellcasting. If you're the type who loves hurling fireballs and summoning storms, this is your jam. But if you're all about raw, relentless physical combat, Rias is the ultimate pick. The sustained damage output they offer is just unmatched once you hit your stride. And yeah, there's a grind involved for both, but hey, you didn't come to Hollowed for a casual stroll through the park, did you? Also, can we talk about how satisfying it is to unlock these abilities? Sure, casting 1,100 spells or farming Dark Blood points isn't exactly a walk in the park, but when you finally hit that threshold, it's like a whole new world opens up. Your screen practically screams, you're unstoppable now, and that's what S-tier is all about. The payoff is huge. And your enemies? Well, let's just say they won't forget your name anytime soon. So, Zari or Rias, which team are you on? Let me know in the comments because I know you've got opinions about this. Whether you're quick casting your way to victory or going full demon mode, one thing's for sure, these races are the stuff legends are made of. Now, go out there and make your enemies regret their life choices. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.